Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a very exciting video for me. I was very interested in the relaunch, the reformulation, apparently, of my favorite foundation ever. I was nervous to test this out. I've tested this out for multiple days. I've compared it side by side, and this foundation is the Too Faced Born This Way Soft Matte Oil Control Foundation. It's supposed to be a 24-hour wear. It has hyaluronic acid. It's supposed to be a new and improved version of my favorite foundation ever, which was the Born This Way Matte 24-hour foundation. I've talked about this foundation in my top foundations of all time, my top 10. This is number 1. So of course, I don't think they needed to change anything about this. And first impression, they definitely downgraded because we have a nice glass packaging here, and now we have a plastic packaging with one of those air pumps, which I absolutely hate. So we're not starting off good for this foundation, but I felt I was probably the best person to review this foundation because this was my favorite foundation ever. So I do have some thoughts. I've spent time testing. Today for my test, I did want to go to the pool because it does claim to be waterproof as well. So that's the only thing I haven't tested yet, which I will be doing today, but I did do side by side. We have a wear test of the side by side. I've worn this on its own for my initial wear and first impression of it. And when I initially applied this, I loved how it looked. When I do wear this side by side with the original formulation, I have thoughts. So you're gonna see all that in this video, but if you're just curious on this foundation alone, I'm going to share my opinion on this to begin. I'm going to quickly go over the claims of this foundation and then we'll get to application. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Matte Longwear Liquid Foundation. On the packaging, it does say soft matte though. It retails for $46 US, $62 Canadian. There's 1 ounce of product and 30 shades. I'm using shade Warm Beige, which is a medium with a neutral undertone. They do not have my perfect match foundation, which was golden, in the original formulation. So I had to settle with Warm Beige. It is a new and improved weightless, buildable, medium to full coverage soft matte foundation for advanced oil control and 24-hour undetectable coverage. The coverage is medium buildable. The finish is matte. The formulation is liquid. It says it controls oil, oil-free, gluten-free, cruelty-free, weightless formula, delivers moisture up to 12 hours, waterproof, sweat-proof, humidity-resistant, long wear, 24 hours of non-fading, color-true, non-settling, creasing, non-caking, non-pouring, and non-streaking wear. Lots of claims. I'm going to let you know what I agree with, what I don't agree with, and let's get to application on the face. I'm going to zoom you guys right in. I do not use filters in my videos. I use natural light as well. You can see my pores, my texture, my discoloration, all the spots on my face. You can see it all. So we can actually see how this looks like applied to the skin. I'm going to be using the MakeupByCheryl F4 brush to apply this to the skin. You'll see the coverage. I'm going to do 1 layer initially. You can see the consistency of this compared to the original formulation. It feels exactly the same. It was like a little race on my hand. You can see that they both fell at the same speed. So I'm using Warm Beige and it is a medium neutral. We're going to start by applying it to this side of the face. All I have on is my sunscreen. I do not have any sort of primer. And with that being said, I'm not going to be using any sort of setting spray, nothing for the wear or to melt everything together. Just want to show you one side of the face first. My initial first impressions of this were that it was much more matte actually than the original formulation. And that's one thing I always said that I didn't agree with how this original formula was called matte, because I never felt like it was a matte on my skin. It never settled to a full matte. This is definitely soft matte, so I agree with the name of it. As I said, I almost felt like this was more matte than the original formula. It's very perfecting on the skin. It does feel weightless, as it claims to. Glides on seamlessly, very similar in the application, the initial look to my original foundation. High hopes when I initially applied it. So I'm just going to apply it to the other side of my face so you can see. Already having issue with the air pump, as you can maybe hear on my microphone. I hate air pumps. I don't know what it is. Often you have to massage the packaging, which is just super annoying. I did feel like this new formula actually has a little less coverage. It does still claim to be medium buildable, which is my preferred coverage for a foundation. Compared to the matte foundation, the original formula, it was a bit less coverage, I did notice. So today I'm going to build it up a little bit more because I wasn't sure in the wear test, as you will see later, whether it transferred or whether it truly faded. I'm going to build this up a second layer so you can see that it is a medium buildable finish. I wouldn't say this builds to full coverage in my opinion, but it is a very high medium coverage. It doesn't look cakey. Settles on my skin beautifully. As I said, it's very perfecting on my skin. If this would have just been a new launch foundation and I had no idea that it was reformulated of my favorite, I would have fell in love with this foundation. As I'm probably insinuating right now, few things that I feel aren't as good as the original formula. I still think this is a great foundation though, so you will see in the wear test. I wanted to give it one more day to see if this transfers or fades, because as I said, I'm not sure if it was just a transfer issue, which it does not claim to be transfer resistant, so I might have just touched my face on the one side and that's why I experienced the difference between the two. That's why we needed about 3 days of wear tests for this video. This is a very important video for me, as you can tell, because I love this foundation so much. So I do have to match my body. However, I still don't think this is my perfect match. Unfortunately, for when I'm tan, golden was just seamless. This being neutral still seems slightly too warm for my complexion, but I can make it work with my powder, concealer, all that. So I just wanted to show you what 2 layers built up looks like. It is stunning. It is beautiful. I love how this looks, and I honestly feel like this is one of those foundations I personally could get away with not completely setting my face, unless it does transfer, which is the issue which I'm testing today. But in terms of the formula on its own, it looks more matte throughout the day on my skin. It definitely has those oil controlling properties, which I feel like for initial application, you don't really notice, but when the formula is wearing throughout the day, you can see that this is a true soft matte finish. My face looks matte, no shine whatsoever for me, and I'm normal leaning dry. So right now you can see that it does have a little bit of a glow. It's still taking some time to dry down on my skin, and as it wears, it's 100% matte, 100% oil controlling. You'll see in my photos of how this looks with all my makeup done that this is matte. Beautiful matte. I love it. It's super perfecting. I think my face with this formulation looks really pretty. When I initially put this on, I felt like my skin looks so pretty. Truly a fan of how this looks like on the skin, but it's all about the wear for me, because if a foundation doesn't wear properly, it's no good. For me at least. So I feel like anything can look good on initial first impression like this does, but we really need to test the wear. So that's where I'm going to share with you my side-by-side of both foundations for the wear. Share that with you next. I'm going to go off camera, finish off the rest of my makeup now, and then I'll come back. So here's all the makeup on the foundation. Everything plays beautifully with this foundation. I haven't had any issue with all my favorite products, so that's always a plus. I actually just remembered that I wanted to point out that when I did the half and half yesterday, I had a couple breakouts on this side of my face, which I did have the new foundation. So I'm going to be looking for that today as well. So for waterproof, and if this is breaking me out for at the end of the day, if I'm having any sort of issues, I will update you. So this is where we are starting to start off today's check-in. As you can tell, comparing the two foundations side by side, we do have some more things to investigate, which today is for. So I'm hoping to have some answers by the end of today's wear, but I'm loving how this looks right off the bat. It is so beautiful to start off with. This kind of soft matte finish makes me feel my best, I feel, because if you have pores or texture like I do, it just softens everything. The skin looks beautiful. So I just feel my best in this sort of finish. So you can tell, like, I really love how it starts off. So I'm hopeful that this wears really well throughout the day today. So I will come back and check in with you guys later. We might have some lighting issues because I do film in natural light to begin with, but obviously at the end of the day, we're gonna lose some light, so I'm gonna try and wear this as long as I can. If it's not waterproof, that might also be an issue. We will see if those claims are true, and I will check in with you guys in a little bit. The sun is currently setting, so I have to be quick, but I am back from a full day at the pool. I had water gun in my face. I was in the hot tub, in the pool. I didn't fully submerge, but definitely water splashed everything. I thought it was going to take off my forehead because that's where I got most of the water while I was in the pool. I feel like everything is even. Granted, I don't think this foundation color is my best match, so I feel like I have to go back and get another one. It is a neutral, even though it says warm beige, but I do feel like this is more warm than neutral on my skin, so I do need to play around with some shades. I was looking actually online to purchase another one and seeing if they had a cool tone one, because that's what golden was more of a cool undertone, which I think would work better for me in this foundation, and I couldn't really see that many cool tone shades, which was unfortunate. So I'm gonna check, see which one that I can go with next, but all in all, this definitely wore better than the day that I did side-by-side comparison. I don't know what was going on with this side of my face the other day, but I did notice actually when I was putting on the foundation today, it was doing the same thing right away. So I just don't think this area of my skin was holding properly onto the foundation, so it kind of set it up to wear like that, because we're completely fine in terms of wear today, just the shine and being in the heat. This says it's oil controlling. I don't feel like I'm overly oily, but I do feel like everything just needs to be pressed back into the skin, which is typically what I would do if I was wearing anything throughout the day. I just repress. I don't apply any more product, but I just need to re-push everything into the skin. I have areas where I had my glasses on, so you can see that on my nose, so that's what that is on my face. But all in all, it wore really good, I think, and we didn't have that same sort of transfer issue, so it's definitely waterproof. Is it transfer proof though? I don't think it is. I feel like if you're a face toucher, it's gonna come off on your fingers. Just like a lot of foundations, I feel like there's very few that are truly transfer resistant. I do feel like this would transfer if you're gonna be touching it. That's why when I got splashed with water, I let it be. If you touch it, probably would mess this foundation up, but very good wear. I do feel hydrated, and I feel more hydrated today than yesterday because of all the hydration from the water. So I do feel like this especially would be good with a setting spray, because I don't have the creasing as bad around my eye today, virtually non-existent, a little bit where my concealer is, but not the foundation area. So both sides of my face are completely fine in terms of the settling and the creasing that I saw in that initial side-by-side. That's completely fine today. I am happy with the foundation. I would 100% purchase this again. Do I think this is better than the original formulation? No, I do not. So that is just my opinion. I wish they hadn't changed it. I still wish they didn't change this, because this was absolutely perfect in every aspect. The color, the finish, the wear, everything about this was my perfect foundation, and they said they made it better, but in my opinion, I don't think they made it as good. Is it still a really good foundation? Absolutely. But I don't think it's as good as it was. That's my opinion on that. So I hope that kind of helps you out, whether you wanted to pick this foundation up or not. I'm still going to be purchasing another shade in this because I personally like how it looks on my skin. Is this the most flattering lighting for me right now? No, because we're getting it from weird angles, but this looks good on my skin. For how I see foundations look like on my skin, this looks really, really good. I'm happy with the wear. I just wish they would not have changed it. The packaging, the formula, nothing, because it was pure perfection, and now it's just a little bit less than perfect, in my opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If there's anything I didn't cover that you have questions for this foundation, let me know in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to you. If you've tried this foundation, let me know as well in the comment section below. I'd love to know your thoughts. It's not the same, it is different, and I just wanted to share my full opinion, my full review, show you wear tests, test everything out because this was my favorite foundation of all time. So this is a very important video for me to film. If you have not subscribed to my channel already, I would absolutely love if you did so by hitting the red subscribe button, the bell to be notified of all my future videos, and I will see you guys in my next one.